So we've been walking a really long way, and we've managed to find Civilization again. Looks like we might be in York, judging by that logo there. Revolution Software, that is. So that's cool. Maybe we can have a little check, see if there's some games around here. Sawthumb Retro Games is just around the corner. Might pop in there, have a little chat. So hello there, I'm here with Lee at Sawthumb Retro Games in York. It's one of my favourite shops, although as I was saying earlier, I've not actually been in before. But I've seen you at the retro game fairs a few times and always pick stuff up.
Which shows in Leeds did you go to then? Did you go, was it the Town Hall? Or
I've been to every single one for the past sort of 5 years, I think now. So there's the Town Hall and then there's the university as well. And I much prefer it when it's at the university, to be honest.
Is that for you personally, because you live near there, or?
No,
so you can drive up?
Both easy to get to, really. I just like the space of the university more, I think.
Because as traders, none of us like the university.
Oh, really? Why is that then?
It's too big.
Oh, okay.
You don't get any... you've got a big O in there.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get any passing footfall, kind of aspects.
Right, okay. So
for the traders, we all want the Town Hall, but they've just priced themselves out of the market, apparently.
Yeah,
they got too greedy.
Yeah.
So the promoters couldn't do it, but yeah. Town Hall was the best venue probably in Yorkshire for retro gaming events.
Oh, so you thought that
punters
was
enjoyed it, traders enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Promoter loved it. Yeah.
Cool.
Town Hall were great.
Yeah, sure. So getting back to the shop itself, there's a lot of sort of history in York and stuff. Do you know what this building was before? Or?
Well, let's talk about gaming history.
Yeah.
We all know a company called Game Station.
Yeah, we do.
That became Electric Boutique and then Game.
Yeah.
Game Station started on this street. The first ever shop was in York.
Yeah.
Opposite the road, one shop down, yeah. And I only knew because there must have been 3 chaps that started it. 2 of them sort of stayed in the business, they would have moved to Electric Boutique or gone to the board at Game. And the one chap that didn't, he came into my shop and he was telling me, and I was blown away. I was like, wow. Because you're so happy to see like a shop like what they had,
Yeah.
Starting up again, like the Phoenix from the Ashes kind of malarkey.
Yeah. Always good for trade-ins with Game Station. Definitely a lot more.
Oh, well, you could take the older stuff.
Yeah,
yeah. Everyone took the snazzies to get the PS1 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone went there with it. Oh yeah, you know what I mean. I'd love to be in there that week where PlayStation 1 were coming out and everyone was just weighing in, SNESes and NESes and it must have been a great time.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, history-wise, one of the oldest buildings in York is on here. Not this particular building. One of the inns, one of the shops down there. Yeah, that's like a listed building.
Yeah,
so
nice.
This was one of the main arteries into York.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah.
I want to know about this building, like the history of it and stuff.
If you know.
Yeah.
Talk to my landlord. He's on 01904, and while he mentioned him, mention this leak.
Yeah.
No, I don't know the history of it. I know which shop it was before, but that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can't go any further
Is that
back.
like the same sort of stained glass window?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Well, I'd get them in Shard especially.
Clearly something significant.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. That wasn't what drew me to the shop though. Oh, a nice bit of very expensive lead stained glass windows. I hope they don't break because it might bankrupt me.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we're in kind of we have been in a lockdown recently and all the shops had to close. When we came back out of lockdown, obviously there was a bit of speculation about retro game prices and people might be offloading a load. Mm-hmm. Did you find that people were coming in after lockdown and offloading a load of stuff, or
it's still happening now?
Still happening.
It's not so much people. I think retro games is like stocks and shares really.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff goes up. The general pot of gold stays the same because like Nintendo will drop, but then Mega Drive will go up. But yeah, to know when to sell something is amazing. Like during lockdown, the price of all the common items that everybody had like Wheeze, Buzz, SingStars.
Wheeze went massively up, didn't they? Yeah.
Just Buzz. Lockdown were crazy. It was like this little vacuum. Stuff was selling ridiculously high for certain items.
Yeah.
And other items it wasn't getting touched. But I don't think people were panicking saying, I need to get rid of my collection now. I think because people were off for so long, they were up in the attics, doing DIY, finding this, and then selling it that way.
So you think it's more that they were just finding things?
Yeah, I think so. I think they had all this spare time. And also it's caused a bit of, a positive twist, because people went upstairs, found their old SNES, started playing it. I need to buy some more games now.
Yeah.
Overall, there's always been, every year there's this, is the price going to collapse? And as I say, it does collapse on some.
Yeah.
But it raises another. Nintendo fell. Probably when CX started selling Nintendo, the price. So a lot of people could have really got stung if they'd have bought it in, at this sort of price, and it dropped to, this. It's like the top titles are always going to be worth a lot of money. That's a fact. Buying a top, like a Kirby Air Ride, is like buying a bit of gold, really. It's never going to devalue to the point where you're going to lose lots of money, I'd say. Yeah. But I think there's a lot more, retro stock out there now, because everyone's been up in the attics and finding treasure. But I've bought one or two guys' collections. Oh yeah. Which is worrying, because there's only so many big collectors sort of circulating at once. There's only so many guys going for the full Mega Drive collection. I always find it's a shame when you've been following a collector and you hear that they've just kind of sold the whole lot basically all in one go. And then there's, of course, I know a few collectors who've sold up and then thought, you know what, I really want to give it a go again, and then started collecting again. So it's the chase. It's always the chase. It's the chase of having the full collection.
Yeah, sure.
Like I bought a GameCube collection. The guy had a full collection for maybe 48 hours.
Yeah.
Then he sold it. It was the chase.
Wow.
It was the chase to have a full collection.
Yeah. Wow.
I think it's the CX impact, really. That's what's put a lot of people under, I'd say.
Yeah.
CX and Amazon.
So, seeing as we're on that topic, can I ask you about CEX and how that kind of impacts, how you think that impacts the retro gaming scene?
It certainly impacted it, because before CX started selling retro, the only way you could see these old machines would be generally at Comic-Cons. Yeah. You'd have a retro game seller at a Comic-Con or a retro gaming event. So you always got that sort of, it's almost like an impulse buy, because people have never seen a SNES. They've not seen a SNES in years.
Yeah, sure.
I need to get this while I can, because I might not see it again. Obviously with CX, because they're a global company, they have a bigger exposure for their products.
Yeah.
So, the sort of nostalgia pop sort of vanished a bit now, because people are used to walking down the street and seeing a SNES in the window at CX now.
Yeah, sure. And I guess that was all part of the big sort of boom when it all came back, and it's all more popular now, innit? So.
Well, yeah, that's why, CX jumped on something that was probably going strong for about maybe 2 years.
Yeah, sure.
Solidly, and then they jumped on it. And then straight away it kind of diluted it, because obviously they've got shops in every city. They can, they almost dictate the price now.
Yeah, sure.
Because they can buy, so much in, because they have so many shops. And they can. It's almost like they can saturate the market if they want, by dropping the price really low. Yeah. So it's kind of that. The impact is that, they have a bigger reach, so most people take their old stuff to them now, instead of whereas before. The only place you could sell it was on eBay or to a retro seller like myself. So it's the business, isn't it? They saw some. Don't forget CX sold retro before, and then they binned it all off. Decided to give it another go. So it's definitely affected. Yeah, for me, it's mainly that. You still get people coming in here and they're like, "Oh God, I haven't seen that for years." But most people that come in now have a CX bag on, so they have seen this stuff for years. Yeah. But I just don't think you'd get one CX that has this much.
Yeah,
as a website, you can't compete with it.
You'd never get this sort of variety. But then obviously CEX does have the fact that you can buy stuff online as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's it. So,
Yeah.
we independent shops are competing with not one CX shop, but all of them.
Yeah.
You can be competing with that website, which you can't do. And you're foolish if you try, because they change the prices every 2 days. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Every week the price is dropping or going up. Because we do get a lot of quirky items in.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's the same with like people. I see there's like Japanese games over here. People are interested in playing the games that they would have had to import and stuff back in the day themselves. But nowadays, obviously, guys like you are importing from Japan, and that means that people can enjoy these new games, obviously. And it's the same with anything. I think
And it's enjoying the games
collecting-wise.
at the correct ratio that were meant to be played at, or
sure.
or a lot of trilogies we never got in the UK. Part 3's got released in Japan. We never got it here.
Yeah,
so it's a good chance to play Part 3's. And it's so easy now to play, NTSC games. There's so many adapters, so many mods, so many of these kind of Retron clone machines. So you can just buy the hardware and play it.
Yeah.
As it truly should be. The whole idea of Saw Fun started with me importing Japanese games. Really.
Yeah.
That's where it all came from.
Cool. So were you working out of home or something beforehand? And then you got the shop?
I 7 years ago we started doing all the Comic-Cons. But prior to that, I was a postman. I was in the Territorial Army, and on the weekends I converted. Well, not on the weekends. I converted my attic into a kind of shop.
Yeah.
And I used to sell just on the Facebook before Marketplace.
Yeah, sure.
People used to come around to my house. If they were brave, they'd come actually into my attic. Sometimes a bit weird asking young ladies to follow me in my attic, but they were going up there to buy a Mega Drive for the partners. So I started on that, and then I continued being a postman, and at the weekends we used to do the Comic-Cons, and then I was offered redundancy, which was amazing. And with that, I sort of transferred to a market stall in York for about 6 months.
Yeah.
That was doing all right, as well as you can do on a market stall. And then I got a temporary shop in York just for 3 months for Christmas time. That had been about 6 years ago, and that went really well.
Sure.
And then I was looking for like a more permanent sort of basis, and we found this place. A bit out of the city centre, but York's an expensive city to rent anywhere in the city centre.
Yeah.
So we sort of
I
I think if you let people know where they are, they'll come to you. They'll get to you.
Well, I went past Revolution Software on my way here, and they've probably got a very high rent. Being on
Shambles.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
You're talking hundreds of thousands.
They don't even put out games that often, so.
No. We get one of the developers comes in here quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeps us up to date with what's happening. Yeah, I think they're working on. It's mainly all app games now.
Yeah. They've put out a few of them.
Yeah. So they are busy, but it's stuff that you don't really see on the shelf anymore.
Yeah, sure.
It's just because that's the future. I suppose that's the future, isn't it? Apps and handheld gaming and whatnot.
Not for me.
No, not for you guys out there either.
That's brilliant. Is that? Thanks very much for talking to me. It's been great.
Have a look around, please.
Yeah, it's been great to meet you, and I definitely will have a look around. Thanks very much.
No problem. Cheers.